As the game is already filled with 4 different Russian medium tanks, I feel like it's important to do a quick summary of what each one of them is good at. Obviously, we have the T-22 medium, which is, or seems to be, the greatest out of them all. It has the gun depression, the DPM, pretty much everything, but most importantly, the crazy armor profile. And of course, this one stands the most out of all the others you see right there. The second one, we have the T-62A, which is a good variation between something that is crazy mobile and also versatile due to its gun depression, but also quite destructive thanks to its DPM. The 907 is the same as the T-62A, but it will exchange some armor for more mobility. And finally, we have the Object 140 that is the same as the Object 907 with the same mobility, but a worse gun. So in the end, let's say that if I had to grade those different tanks, the T-22 medium, it would be a 10 out of 10, the T-62A an 8 out of 10, the 907 a 7 out of 10, and the Object 140 a 5 out of 10. So in the end, is it really worth it to get it? Well, depends on your playstyle. Before jumping into the playstyle, let's do a quick analysis of the different statistics this tank has to share. First of all, when it comes to the gun, as it's a tradition on every single medium Russian tank in this game, it's just awesome. The accuracy is crazy, the weapon handling, the DPM, everything is just perfect, and you will have a lot of fun playing with it. One advice though, as you can see here, I have 330 millimeters of penetration, simply because I'm using the calibrated shells equipment, which is a must-have on pretty much every single Russian medium tanks. They already have enough DPM for you to do the job, so let's increase that penetration for you to be able to penetrate with your gold shell, because otherwise it's just impossible. For the rest, 7 degrees of gun depression that will allow you to do the job, and no armor at all. And trust me, really no armor. It's the same as the Object 140. You can get penetrated into the top of the cupola of the turret, quite easily, which makes it not the best tank to brawl. If you want something aggressive and that can brawl, let's get a T-62A or a T-22 medium, but not the 907. For the rest of the statistics, as I just mentioned, the mobility that is just crazy, because you will get to your top speed in no time, which will allow you to take advanced position at the beginning of the game or relocate if needed. But what about the playstyle? Well, here things are going to be interesting. You have 2 ways of playing the 907 actually. It's either you brawl first line, but you make sure that you're not the one getting targeted in order for you to only use your weapon and therefore do your damage without dying because your tank is extremely weak. Or you can also try to play with your mobility by circling around and trying to poke around and things like that. I do not advise you to try that second option. The best way to make that tank work is to play from the bridge line, use your 7 degrees of gun depression, and always be on the move, even when you shoot. And let me tell you something. With that tank, as I just mentioned, you have a really hard time bouncing your targets, except if they don't have enough time to aim at your cupola or the middle part of your turret roof. So, well, if you keep moving again and again and again, this is something quite easy. But it requires from you to have some skill and to be a pro of the peekaboo technique. Peekaboo, to sum it up briefly, is that position in which you poke around using your degrees of gun depression. You sneak your shell without trying to fully aim or anything like that, and you come back to a safe cover as soon as you shot. If you do that with the 907, you should have great games. If you don't, it's going to be a little bit hardcore for you. Now, let's jump back into the replay. As you can see, first of all, against the T-54, we were playing a game of gun depression. Luckily for us, we won because the guy was alone at a tier 9 and he did not expect maybe all the teammates to go there, so he just escaped. But at least I have the rest of my team following me. Now I have only one thing to do, trying to sneak some shots from the distance. I don't need to push in, and I'm not a tank that is made to push. I can use my mobility to pick a little bit like I did on the T-125, but I would not advise, because if you are getting the targeted, you are gonna get completely crushed. So there we go, once again sneaking a shot on the T-57 heavy. And now I'm thinking, I see, judging by the map, that the enemies are splitted, and thanks to my mobility I know that I can reach the small, what used to be a small water, not waterfall, I forgot the name in river. I really struggle with this. I'm joining the river, and well, I can climb straight on the T-54 threat. I'm not trying to push too much because obviously my tank is not made for that, but well, I could have tried to angle a little bit against the T-54. Maybe I would have been able to bounce something. But as your sides are extremely weak, you are still gonna struggle with side scrape, etc., and I wouldn't advise you to try those techniques. No, what you want to do is waiting for your enemies to shoot, and once it's done, you go out, you sneak your shells, and that's it. So, well, now we are sitting at 1k hit points, that is lowered down to 800, and I'm thinking, okay, I must go in because I'm getting the one targeted. As I just told you, being targeted with that tank completely sucks, and you need to avoid it at all costs. So well, that's why I escaped by pushing the IS-8. I knew I was gonna reload before him, and now I have a choice. I either can go on the T-57 Heavy to do some damage, or wait and kill the Sheridan, because out of all the tanks we see right there, he's probably one of the most threatening to me. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do a little bit of both. I'm trying to get the Sheridan, and I don't know. You tell me, Wargaming, what happened? I truly don't have a clue how I bounced the Sheridan. But luckily for me, he's gonna do the mistake of stopping straight in front of me. And here you see the power of my aim time that is just crazy, and my weapon handling in general. I did not have to aim at all, just sneaked my shell and bang, see ya, Sheridan, thanks for coming. The only thing I have to deal with right now is the T-57 Heavy, and I'm gonna try. Unfortunately, I didn't shoot because I wanted to go for a heat shell, and well, heat shells are not penetrating through destructible objects on the map, so I decided not to shoot. And now the T-57 Heavy really wants to push me, so I need to do something, and I'm gonna bait him. I'm gonna wait for him to try to turn around. Thanks to my mobility and especially my backward speed, I have the ability to just escape, and now the only thing I have to do is waiting for the rest of my team to help me. And here you're gonna see, I'm gonna remember something about the T-57 Heavy, and this is where all your knowledge on other tanks is quite useful. This tank doesn't have enough gun elevation, so here I can freely shoot him without struggling at all. And this is exactly what we're doing. But I'm gonna do a mistake. I'm gonna fall off the cliff here. I didn't do that on purpose. It was definitely not what I wanted to do, but hey, now I gotta assume it. I sneak a shell. I managed to escape before the T-57 Heavy reloads. He gets killed by the M5O. Everyone is happy. We get a victory, and obviously the mighty first class that we kind of deserved on this one. As you can see, we did a lot of credits because yes, the Object 907 has the exact same credit coefficient as a premium, which gives you another advantage when buying that tank. But is it really worth it for 25,000 gold? In my opinion, no. If it was a T22 medium, I would tell you yes. Not even, because right now Wargaming is selling this tank for 15,000 gold. But for a first offer, getting a 907 for 25,000, if you are expecting the tank to be as good as it is in World of Tanks PC, you are going to be disappointed. Do not try it. Buy this tank only if you're a pro, because that's who this tank is aimed at. Hopefully you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And most importantly, tell me in the comments if yes or no, you're gonna buy it. See ya.